right, welcome. Merry Christmas to everyone that is watching tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Last week I did say that I would be available to craft, so here I am. And I hope you have your eggnog or your favorite beverage or what have you. Or maybe you have a paper pumpkin, a kid's collection from Stampin' Up, whatever you might have. Let's craft together. So we'll just give it a second to see we can get some more people online, and I really want to adjust this camera. So let me see. I know I'm not going to be able to do it very well, but I want to try my best because I really want to get a lot of my desk in the view. And right now I don't really can do that. So I think it's okay now. Yeah, I want everything straight. And I think we're good. Good to go. Still learning this desk. I do have another camera mount that I might be using. I gotta just practice with it. But anyway, hey Carla, I knew you said last week that you would be on, so welcome. I hope you had a nice Christmas. I am going to be using a kit collection tonight called Forever Friends. And I'm sitting down tonight, not standing up, because I've been standing up the last couple hours working on Card Club, and I'm going to be getting that out on Wednesday. So in my Card Club, those members, so 22 of them, you will be getting a special gift. So you'll have to make sure you open this one and get started with it. Okay, so I wanted to go over my free card class for the month of December 15th through the 31st, using this host code right here, which is 3JZ666DD. And if you place an order of $35 or more in product, you will receive card kits to make this this class here. So let me just go over it really quickly. It uses the Flight and Airy Celebration Designer paper, and I love this class. I'm going to be offering this class to my independent living facility where I teach classes at the end of January. So they'll be working with this. Parks and Rec is a Valentine's Day class, so I'm going to save this maybe for March. This would really make some nice Easter cards as well. But let me just go over them really quickly. They're very super simple to do. Even fussy cutting out these birds were not that bad. And I even used Crayola scissors because I couldn't find my paper snips at that time. But they're very basic on the inside, but on the front side, they're really beautiful using here embossed paper in white, and we've got the designer paper Flight and Airy. So that would be card number 1. Card number 2 is a thank you card. Thank you so much, it says. And again, using that paper with a scalped contours die. And this is boho blue. Haven't used boho blue in a while, but I'm using it on this card because it is in the paper. And here on the front of the envelope, I'm just using scraps that are left over from cutting paper. Here's a card using fresh freesia, and it's a thinking of you card. And we're using the wooden natural elements, I think they're called. They're still available, but they're just not, I don't see a lot of people using them. So what I did last week, we made this class together. I colored the little, I'm going to call them little buds or maybe flowers, I don't really know, with the dark fresh freesia Stampin' blends. And then I didn't have the pecan pie Stampin' blends, so that's going on my ordering list, which I'll be placing an order tonight just for the stem piece here. On the inside, we're just using some of that scrap. and also on the front of the envelope too. All right, and then we have one left, and it is using the pecan pie, and I die cut 3 of these from the designer paper, and I stamped in Misty Moonlight, and this is kind of like a resembling of the boho blue. And then on the inside, very basic, but you can do whatever you want on the inside. I just make them kind of basic. You can use any stamp set that you have. So that is my free card class. So $35 or more order using my host code right here until the December 31st. If your order is $50 or more in product, you will receive the iridescent foil gems, which are in the mini catalog that starts in January. All right, so a little perk for you. And also another special I'm offering right now is related to the kits collection. I sent out an email about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, saying that I would be on live tonight. And if you purchase one of our kits from the kits collection from December 25th to the 31st, I'll be sending you 4 of my handmade cards that I have in my stash. Okay, we are going to be making the Forever Friends kit. We're going to be using that one tonight. I love how our kits come in these really nice boxes. I use several of these for like Christmas presents, and they're great to ship as well. So I haven't even looked at this, don't even know what's inside, so we're going to be learning together. And our kits collection, generally speaking, comes with, of course, card kits. Most of the time they're card kits, but sometimes they're 3D as well. But we usually get a Stampin' spot, and this one here is Night of Navy. I'm going to be using this one tonight. I'm going to be using this silicone craft or silicone mat, which is from, which you can, this whole thing here, you can earn by joining Stampin' Up. It's one of your choices come January. So either that or $30 more in products. So I'm just going to open this right here, and then we'll kind of sort it out together. And again, this is called the Forever Friends kit. If you want the item number to write it down, it is 162363, and it's $21. Now, if you're a demonstrator, of course, you're going to take your 20 or 25% off the $21. So it's another benefit of being a demonstrator, whether you're business-minded or a hobby stamper. So most of my team are hobby stampers, and they have so much inspiration. They're here just because they're their best customer, and they want the discount. They don't want to be paying retail. Okay, so in this kit, we have one of those paper pumpkin clear blocks, which you can use with the stamp set. I'm going to use some of my regular blocks. And then it looks like we've got some foil here. Let's take out the instructions so I know what we're going to be making here. So it says down here, what it's going to tell us what we have. And it says, contains supplies for 8 cards in 8 envelopes. It's also going to let you know that the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Night of Navy, Old Olive, and Petal Pink. So if you wanted to bring those into your design work, you can do with that. And then if you open up the little kind of instruction sheet here, it's going to tell you how to make every single card. And it's also going to tell you how many inches of the thread, linen thread, that you'll need as well. And on the side here, we have a ruler. And let's see, where does it start? Well, okay, so right here, it starts on the right side and goes left. So 1 inch, I'm an inch person, I'm not metric. Although they tried to make us learn that in grade school. It didn't go very far, but I'm dating myself there. But we've got a ruler here, so you can use your own ruler or you can use that one. So when I'm making kits, what I like to do first is just kind of sort everything out. And if we have envelopes in here, I'm going to burnish those at the same time. That way we don't have them, we have less to work with, meaning I don't need as much space. All right, so, oh, that's kind of cool. So when you fold it over, some of the foiling is on the front as well. I think these are all the same color, Old Olive, but we'll see. So let's get these all done. I hope you guys are crafting with me at the same time. That way you can get some work done as well. We celebrated Christmas on Friday as my Connecticut family was in town. They came in Thursday and with the grandsons in tow and their dog, Rosie. She's a little crazy. She likes to chase the cat if she can. And she's very protective of my daughter-in-law or any females in the room. She's a female too, but I know she is just overprotective of her. So that's always good to know. But okay, so we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have all of our envelopes burnished. And we also have some of these strips here, adhesive strips. So it looks like we're going to be popping some things up, which is really handy. And we've got 2 sheets of them. And I know we'll have some left over. We always do when we're working with kits or paper pumpkin as well. And next up is our card bases. So since I have those here, we're just going to fold and burnish those. I like to kind of go 2 times just because I feel like it's better if I do it 2 times for myself. All right. But anyway, back to Christmas for us. We celebrated Friday night and we're like, okay, how do we get the kids outside so Santa could come? Well, we decided to do have a big bonfire, so that's how we got them outside. And then when everybody went outside, Santa came and put all the gifts under the tree, and also the stockings filled up too, and it was very magical. He came in a helicopter and he snuck in through the back side of our house, went up on our deck, through our bedroom, down the stairs, and found the tree in our living room. He couldn't come down the stove pipe because we had our pellet stove going, and you know, we didn't want him to burn up. So we couldn't shut it off because it was just too cold to do that. So anyway, Santa had to come through the back way. But the kids had fun. And that's the best part about Christmas too, is that it's so much fun with grandkids for sure. But they're back home. They went home Saturday. We had big dinner on Saturday, brunch on Saturday. Supposed to eat at 11, but it was a little behind. So I don't think we ate until like 11:45, but we all had fun. And then my sister came with her 2 boys and they drove back. So now it's just my husband and myself, and we both have to work tomorrow. So we'll be getting to bed a little early tonight just because we got to get up early in the morning. But I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Let us know. What's do you have a favorite tradition that you do every year for Christmas? Did you just start a tradition? Are you celebrating at a different time? I know some families just can't celebrate on Christmas, and that they wait until other family members can come. But let us know. Okay, so now you guys just saw me taking all the die cuts out, And what I also like to do is I like to kind of stack them over in one particular area. So we've got a couple different shapes here. And I'm going to put those shapes that are similar in one pile. And then the other one is, oh, it looks like we only have one. So I don't know what that's for, but we'll figure that one out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm pretty sure they gave us a little extras. But if you, certainly if you do mess up with your stamping, you can, and you don't use both sides, well then just get some basic white cardstock and use that. Either die cut or fussy cut it out. All right, so we also had these 4 card bases. So those are in look like Daffodil Delight. And then here are the old olives. And if you're coming on now, I've already folded and burnished the envelope flaps. And this is what the envelopes look like. So that's the back side and this is the front side. And we're using Forever Friends kit collection tonight. Okay, and we also have these little die cut or cards. They're kind of like Memory and More cards. Really pretty, actually. I love Daffodil Delight. It just seems like it's a really bright yellow, but not so bright like it's a fluorescent. It's just like it's bright and cheerful. And I do love using Daffodil Delight. And I like the old olive that is with it as well. All right, so I'm going to put these over. I don't know. I'll put them up here. And then I'm going to get my instructions out. And of course, if you know me, I'm a visual person and I do not like instructions. So we're going to see how this goes by just looking. Okay, so it says sending lots of hugs is the sentiment that they want us to use. But I didn't actually go over the stamp set. So in this kit, we do have a stamp set. Most of them do come with stamps. So let me put these on blocks. And again, I mentioned I was using Stampin' Up! Blocks. And I'm just going to put this aside. I like the grip on these the better. These are, this is not bad. I would say it's probably 3/8 of an inch. I didn't measure it, but actually, if I can just use my ruler here, I might be able to tell you. Yeah, it looks like it's about 3/8 of an inch in height. And it's almost the size, maybe it's close to the D block, but we'll see if I use that. So in the stamp set here, it's probably going to be hard for you to see, but we've got some leaves here, which I have mounted on an A block. And then we've got, let's see, some little flowers. There's 3 little flowers there, which I'll just put to the side. We have a flower, which I'll use probably a C block. Yep, I think that's good. And then it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sentiments. So let's see what they say. I'm going to try to use a C block. It looks like it will work diagonally, very close. Let me try to mount that again. And see if I can get it a little bit better. Yep, this one says sending, oh boy, lots of hugs. Sending lots of hugs, I think that's what it says. And let's just turn it over and we can see, yes, sending lots of hugs. Our next one says Forever Friends, and that's the name of our kit. I'll just put that on. I like to put my sentiments on diagonally. That way our eyes do not focus up here. It focuses more on the words. And then we've got another sentiment here. Could be a message. And it says, I'm always here for you no matter what. And let's put that one on diagonally. And then the other one says, you can do hard things. I know we all can do that. You just got to put your mind to it. Okay, that's that one. And then the last one here says, Nobody gets me like you get me. That's kind of fun. All right. All right, so we got all of our stamps mounted, and I do need to open up my Night of Navy without cutting myself. I like to use the paper snips or my take your pick tool to open these. I have to be really careful because Friday, at some point, I'm having my carpal tunnel surgery this Friday. That's if the doctor doesn't cancel like or reschedule me like the last time. I was supposed to have it, I think it was like on the 8th of the month. And then I got that call on Monday saying it's postponed and to pick a date. So December 29th was the date I picked. I really want to have it done this week because last night when I was sleeping, it was just so painful. And my cortisone shot is definitely worn off. Okay, so let's see. I don't know how many, let's see, different cards we're going to be making. So we'll just go with the flow here. All right, so we need to have this card base here. And then we need this one up here. And then it says we need this foil here. One of these. And then we have our adhesive foam strips off to the side. So I'm going to be using the Night of Navy ink. And let's see, I'm going to take these. I like this silicone craft sheet that comes with this. You know, I should have like refreshed my mind what this thing is called, but it's awesome. It's so heavy. It's been on my desk since I got it. You can put it in the comments. So anyway, sorry about that. It's Christmas. I'm not supposed to think. Okay, so I'm going to be inking up Sending Lots of Hugs. And let me just try to find, it was the first one. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can try to do this. I need actually we're working with the photopolymer stamps, so I need to use my piercing mat. So let me see if I can get a good stamped image. I'm going to go grab some paper just to practice. All right, let me just see, because it doesn't look like I'm getting much of a good image. I don't usually use our Stampin' spots. That's not too bad. I just kind of messed up the S. So let me just try it again. And it's right at the edge of that block, so hopefully, yeah. I might have to put this on a D block to get a better image. So let me just take the little kind of spongy thing here that comes with our set here, and I just wet this, and it's super easy to do that. And I'm just going to use my shirt. Don't worry, it's water-based ink. And then I'm going to put this on a D block. Or actually, I'll use this one here. That way, I've got the whole entire letters on here, and I'm going to give it one more try to see. It could be just me. Who knows? That's better. And we're not stamping on the white. We're stamping on this pad of paper, which is great because it actually acts as a piercing mat. All right, so we are going to be, let me get that in front of me one more time. So it says, it doesn't say how many we're going to be making. So I need to have this one here, and we are going to be inking this up in our Night of Navy ink. And then we're just going to stamp this right down in the middle, and hopefully it comes out good. Not too bad. It's kind of like a vintage like look, I think. And that's, I kind of think what they're trying to get with this stamp. Okay, and then it looks like we need, it says the flower, but I really don't know where that is going to be if you see right here, it says this little flower stamp is going to be used. I honestly don't know where that goes. So let me just look here. Maybe on the envelope. I don't really know where that goes, but what's really good about this is that you can mimic this whole thing with the stamps that you have. I don't know where that goes. I'll just stamp it on the inside. They don't show you the inside at all. So, and another thing is, since I'm visual, I might bypass the instructions and just look. Okay, so we're making 3 cards, it looks like. 4. So I need to stamp that sentiment 3 more times. 2, 3. So let me think. I might want to stamp some of the other ones. You can do hard things. I'm always here for you no matter what. Oh, actually, this is probably the messages for the inside. So maybe I'll just do all of these with the sending lots of hugs. So I love this because our little Stampin' spots can fit perfectly in those little slots. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that one. Put that one off to the side, and then I've got 2 more. I'm going to turn this way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think it's kind of a vintage font. I don't know the name of the font, but I'm pretty sure it's very vintagey. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have all those done. And I'm going to put this, actually, I'm going to clean this. So in case I make a mistake, I don't get ink all over my hands. Now for this little cleaning pad or whatever you want to call it, I keep it in one of our clear stamping cases. That way it's going to be out of the way and I don't get water all over my hands. All right, so I'm going to take these 4 cards. It's a portrait, so it's going to open up this way. And we are going to, I'm going to see if they want us to pop it up, which they, let me think. 3. We need 3 of those strips. So I'm pretty sure they're going to go on here on the back side. That's what I'm going to do. There's no right or wrong way. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so we should have 4 of these. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure where the other one went. 4. Now you could save these for another project and just use our Stampin' dimensionals. It's totally up to you. I'm going to cut these down because these are super long. So if I'm looking there, probably about right there. And then they say to take 3. So we'll take 3. If I can get them off. Let's see. There we go. I don't use these very often, so I might switch over to dimensionals. We'll see, because I'm probably going to be a lot faster if I do that. I was able to pull 2 of those off at the same time, so maybe that's just the trick. Okay, so that one's ready to go. This is a silicone craft sheet, kind of like we had. So I know that these are not going to stick there, so I'm going to put those face down. And let me grab 3 more. Let's see, 1, 2, it's really hard to get these off. It's because of those edge pieces, right? So guess what? I'm going to take this and cut it down and use one of these edge pieces. That way I can get to these a little bit better. I'm going to take this one and cut this one down. And these are a little bit wider than the ones I just used previously. So I'm only going to put 2 on this one. And we'll get these prepped and ready to go. Okay, and then we've got 2 more to go. That's 3. And 3 more. Okay. I could be totally wrong. These might have gone on the sentiments. I don't know. We might have to double pop them up. We'll see how it all goes. All right. So we need to have this. This is going to go on the front. We should have 4 of these. So let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which we do. And I don't think these are popped up. It doesn't say to. So I'm going to take my glue. I've taken out another bottle of glue from the card making in end of November, December for the holiday baskets. I grabbed another glue, as we used about 20 of them for all the cards that we made and all the gift card holders. So I have a lot of bottles that are not empty yet. So I'm going to be using those before I actually use or order any more. All right, so we're going to mass produce this. So we're just going to do the same thing. I kind of think this is a little bit directional. So I'm kind of focusing on this one right here. And it's really good. Okay, so that's that one. So we got 2 done. Now, our kids collection are a great way to spend some quality time with your friends or family. Or maybe you have a coworker that would love to learn how to stamp. Our kids collections are the way to go. That way, when your beginner stamper or somebody that wants to learn how to do it, they can take home with them an ink spot and a stamp set. And I know we're going to have leftover the foam strips and the linen thread too. So it is a great way to just start out learning. And that way they can feel if they're going to like it or not. I'm sure they will like it, love it. Okay, so we have all 4 of those made. I'm going to take this out of the way since we don't need it right now. And then it looks like these are going to go on top. And I probably should have been on the, I'm going to call that designer paper, the pattern paper. Because this is supposed to go over it. Oh, you know what? No, we can do it. Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first off, we're going to take the backings off. And if you have a hard time taking backings off, you can use your piercing tool to just kind of poke into that backing to lift it up. For me, I don't have any fingernails that are long enough because they're all broken. And that happens every single year when it gets yucky weather and cold here. I live in a cold climate, although it was like 40 degrees today. Had a nice little walk outside. Gone back to walking because I need to get outside. So last 2 days I walked down our road, and I walked, first day was 2.5 miles, and then today I walked 2.65. I know because I have an Apple Watch and it will tell me my split times and all that, so I know I improved my time, but I'm a rather slow walker. I like to take the scenery in. I'm actually looking for moose and bear activity, and actually deer where I live. Yesterday when I walked, I saw frozen deer prints and a frozen bear print. And I know there's moose living up the road. We've seen the prints, but we've never actually seen one. There's a nice little pond up the road, which I look all the time for any kind of animal activity, and I've never seen anything, but it's perfect place for animals. All right, so we have those done. And then the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna end up putting our liquid glue at the bottom, but up here I'm gonna add 1 strip of the foam adhesive strips. And let's just see the length I'm gonna need. I'm gonna tear this off. Actually, I can take these little pieces and those will work just as good. Okay, so they're gonna go on the top. I'm probably gonna use 3 of these smaller pieces. Oops, that one kind of came off. Well, it would help if I just take one of those off. Okay, so we have these on. So now I know that our height is not going to be a problem. It's going to be equal to the old olive foil going across. And then this, the bottom of the sentiment strip, is going to be set on the foil at the same height. Okay, so we'll just take these little backings off. And then now's the time I'm going to add my liquid glue. Oh wait, we need to add the coral. That's right, I did see that. So let me see. It wants, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but there is some coral kind of thread under here. And let me see if it says how many inches, which it doesn't. Oh, it says 10 inches. Okay, so we're going 10 inches. So I like to eyeball, but if you really want to know, I can take this and use my ruler over here. So that's 9, and I need 1 more inch, so 10. So about this much. So I need 4 of these. So what I'm going to do, so I only have to measure 1 time, I'm going to double this up and then just cut 1 off. And then we've got 2, and then I'm going to use this as my ruler. Okay, fold that in half. And then we can just cut this one over here, and we'll have all 4. And then I'm going to put this away. Almost fell on the floor, but I'm going to put it off to the side so it doesn't land on the floor. And now I'm going to take the kind of thread here, and they didn't give us any glue dots. So let's see how they want us to adhere that. Oh, it's supposed to go on, it's supposed to go on the sentiment strip. So I'm just going to kind of go like this and see what this kind of looks like. And it goes over top. Okay, so just want to get it centered. Okay, so kind of looks like this. I didn't do a very good job there. I like to get one a little bit longer loop. So let me just see if I can do that. I'm just pulling this out with my piercing tool. Yeah, all right, I don't like that at all. So I'm gonna do something with it. I don't really like that at all. So let me think what I can do. I'm gonna try one of the other cards a different way. So we're gonna put that foam strip on the bottom piece here. Just gonna cut this down. And I'm going to, let's see, where's my next card? Here it is. Oh shoot, I put it on the wrong side, darn it. So I gotta just pull this off. Sorry about that. Was not paying attention. It needs to go under the top part, not the bottom part. So we'll try that one more time. Let me just pull off one of these. In the picture, I only showed you using one, so I'm just going to use one of those strips. And then, before I put the sentiment on, I'm going to try something different. And I don't know if I can get this to work. No, it's not going to be long enough. I thought that we might be able to kind of just go over here and tie a bow. But if we were to, it's going to have to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to try that just so we have one to go by. And if we run out, oops, we run out. Okay, so okay. So I'm just going to tie a knot. Well, I like to tie a knot just because it's a little bit easier for me. Okay, and then I'm going to make a bow. And I want this kind of over here. Trim this down. I do have, probably I'm gonna want to kind of glue this down so it stays put. I don't have my glue dots here, but I'm gonna just use a little dot of the liquid glue. And then I'm just gonna use the end of my piercing tool just to hold it down for just like 5 to 10 seconds. That way I know it's secured. Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna take this sentiment and we're gonna put it over here. And then we're gonna compare. And then you guys can tell me. I'm pretty sure I already know what I'm gonna do. And I think you'll agree with me. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the linen thread. I'm going to call it linen thread. It's Calypso Coral on the side. And then this is what the example shows us, which honestly I think is a pretty hot mess. So I'm kind of liking this side more than this. What do you guys think? I don't know. I just think it looks, and I used the 10 inches that they said to use, and I just think it doesn't look great. Yeah, Carla, I do too. Excuse me, I like the bow. So I'm going to go with that with the other two cards as well. All right, Cindy says the left side. Yep. Okay, so let's do that. And I don't think we'll run out of the thread just because they always give us plenty to use. And what I do is when I kind of figure out how much thread I need, oops, I go over about 2 inches on both sides, and then I will cut it off. Usually that works for me. Some people like to make really big bows. I think the really big bows are easier to make using regular ribbon than this linen thread stuff. It's just very small and flimsy kind of, whereas ribbon, we can usually get it to do what we want with it. Oh, what a mess. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so I just want to make a knot because it's easier for me, like I said earlier. And we'll slide that over. And now hopefully I can make a bow on the first try. I usually start out big and then I will make it a little bit smaller. Okay, we'll kind of fuss with it a little bit. Okay, let's take our liquid glue and we're gonna just put a little dot right there. And then I'll take my piercing tool and just hold this down. Okay, it looks like I'm just looking at the comments. I don't usually look at them, but since I was just holding this in place, I kind of looked up and I think everybody agreed that the bow looks better. Now you don't have to wrap it around like that. You could just create a simple bow and just put it there. I kind of like it wrapped around. Okay, now the sentiment. Let's see, where did it go? Here we go. So these two need the foam adhesive at the top. Oops. So I'll grab some more of these. At the end, we'll see what we have left over for products. I always have to double check. It's just a little bit too long, so I'm just going to take my snips and trim that off. Press that down really good. That way that adhesive will not come off. And just a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom. Oops. And we're going to slide this into place here. Okay, so that looks good. And then we have one more to go, which is right here. So again, you know what I'll do is instead of wrapping it around, I'm just going to create a little tiny bow over here with the 10 inches that I have left that I originally cut off. But to do that, Karen's going to get her 10-second bow maker. Because I don't do a very good job on my own doing bows, so I'm gonna cheat, I guess. I don't think it's cheating. It's just we use all kinds of tools to help us. And this is something I use. So what I did is I just folded the thread in half, and then we're gonna wrap this around, come around, I pinch it in the middle there, and then right over left. And then I try to find those tails and then tie it. You can use a fork, that works as well if you struggle with creating bows. Okay, I'm gonna just set this off over there because we'll trim that up later. I'm just gonna focus now on the last strip we're gonna add here to the sentiment, and then we will add our liquid glue, and then I think we'll be done these 4 cards. Snip some of that off. And then let's use some more glue here. And then there. Now we'll take our little bow and let's see. I still think I'm going to put it over here on the side because I think it's going to look good there. Just kind of play with it. I think it needs to be over on this side somewhere. And I'm gonna go this way with it, I'm pretty sure. Just gonna look one more time. Well, maybe you guys can vote. Okay, so do you like it number 1, like this? Okay, so this is number 1 option. Or if we just turn it this way, would you like number 2 as the option? Of course, I'm going to trim down the tails after I figure out where it's going to go. So we'll see who responds first, and I'll go with that. Again, my laptop is about 20 seconds behind, and that's what I'm looking at. So I just got to see one. Oh, number 1. All right. So Cindy, we're going with number 1. So I'm just going to put this over here. I think I'm just going to cover this little corner here. And then we'll press down. I might need to go get a glue dot. Hold on, I'm going to go get some glue dots. I didn't think we'd need glue dots, but I guess I might. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to take this and just cut this down. Now let me show you a trick. If you don't like your tails like looking stiff like this, you can take your piercing tool and just slide it through the threads. It kind of looks a little fluffy, and I'll bring it closer to the video camera once I have this step done. Okay. So it was a little stiff, but then I kind of softened it up by just using the piercing tool and just running it through these 2 threads here so they open up. And kind of made it like a little swirly there. All right, so that's so we now have 3 different ways we made this card. I think we're done with this one. So we have this one with a bow there, and I am going to find that cap before I make a huge mess. Okay, so we have this one here, which we just created. And then I went with wrapping it around. And we know this is like a really hot mess. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to take this out and reuse it. If I can't. And then I see where Martina, she voted number 2. So I'm going to create another bow and we'll add that to the mix. Okay, so this is 10 inches of the thread. I'm gonna kind of fold it in half. And let me use my bow maker. It's really kind of tight to work with 10 inches. I probably would have chosen 12. And now we're going to take this one here and find the glue dots. It'll be quicker this way. And then, let's see, I'm going to put it right about here. Wait a minute. I want the flat side showing, Karen. Okay. I'm not going to separate the tails on this one so you can kind of get the, so you can kind of look at both of them. So here's this one. And then here's this one with the bow off to the side there. And then here's the one that is wrapped around. So that was number 1, number 2, and number 3. Let's see if we can get these all out. And it's a little far away, but I think you can see it. I like them all, really. I think they all look great. And then this one was just another one that was wrapped around. So that's 4 cards we just made. Now, you could stamp something on the inside to maybe, let me just look at that stamp. Let's try it. Hey, I'm willing to do that. So I'm going to grab some ink. Let's see, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, and what was that other color? Oh, Calypso Coral. Let's see, where are you? That's Petal Pink. There we go. I'm also going to get some scrap white so I can try it first before I do anything. And I'm going to actually clean up this kind of mess here. Okay, so we need our piercing mat. And I'm going to outline this with the Daffodil Delight. I'm just trying it first, just to see. And then we have that little, where are they? Oh, do we not have one of those little speckled things? Oh, we don't. Okay, so I got an idea. I'm going to get my Stampin' Right marker out. And there's these little tiny like circles in Daffodil Delight that's on here. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Right marker and color in those little circles. Okay, you can also take your Wink of Stella or your blender pen to take some of that yellow to push it out. Now you want to be careful you don't grab that Calypso Coral, because then it's going to combine the two colors together. What's happening is that the flower is turning really glittery because we're using the Wink of Stella, and it's getting colored in. So when I go over the yellow here, it's kind of pushing out into that white space. The ink is getting transferred over. It's very light and subtle on my side. And I'll try to bring it up. You can also, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go to the edge of my ink pad here. Not the top, but just the edge. And I'm going to turn this Wink of Stella. And let me just see. Yeah, that'll work too. So again, only on the edge, not on the top, because then your Wink of Stella is going to go, it's going to be on the top. And this is getting it a lot darker by doing this, by adding the ink. It's going to take a lot longer to do this, but if you want it to get filled in, then this is your best option. Okay, so that's what I came up with. It kind of mimics the paper. Oops, sorry. I can't tell where I am on my phone that's watching. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. And I think I'm going to stamp that, at least on one of the cards, so you can kind of see. So to do that, I'm just going to work in the lower corner here. So again, I'm going to ink this up. And let me see. Hopefully you can get this the right direction. Just going to go in the corner here. So it's kind of shooting up to the left corner there. And then I'm going to take the Wink of Stella, and then we're just going to brush this really quickly. I'm doing the petals first just because what I just stamped could be a little bit wet, so it's easier to move that yellow over into the white space. Again, if you don't have Wink of Stella, you have a blender pen, that will work the same way. You just won't get the glitter in it. Okay, and then let's take the Calypso Coral. This time I'm going to try to use the brush tip. There. I think that turned out pretty good. So hopefully I'm going to stand up so I can make sure that you're going to see this. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to just leave that as is. I'll go back and finish up the other ones later tonight. All right, we're going to switch gears and we're going to work on the last 4 cards here. So we've got 4 card bases, and these are kind of stripes with Old Olive ink. And then we should have 4 of these little, I'll call them Memory More cards. And then they want us to use, let's see, where are we? Oh, I see what they did. Oh, I got it now. Wait. I'm just looking here. I don't know how they did that. I'm just looking at this picture here where it shows it's like stamped in the outline of Night of Navy. Oh, and then they use Petal Pink to color that in. So you can make your own designer paper with the stamp set. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the front here so I can see what this other one is. Okay, so it's gonna be horizontal. And it's gonna go just like this here. Just make sure your opening is on the correct side. Okay, so it's opening this way. And then I'm gonna kind of prep these so we don't have as much inner area. So let's see, yep, okay. I'm gonna pop these up with the foam strips. Okay, so we'll just take some off. And it looks like 2 came at the same time, so that's fine. It's actually easier. This one I'll need to cut down just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to use it for the middle. That way that panel won't buckle. Now it's okay that I didn't put any right here because it's going to be just fine. All right, so we'll do that 3 more times. These are super sticky, and that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to get these off my fingers. Whoa. Let's see, come on. This one, let's just trim this off. Again, I'm just kind of pressing these down so I know they are on there to go. And then we did have some smaller ones here, so I'm just going to take whatever just came off and we'll just put that in the center. Okay, so we've got a few more to go. I hope my phone doesn't run out of battery. That would be horrible. Now, I don't know. I think Stampin' Dimensionals would have been better for this project, honestly, because those foam strips are a little bit harder to use. So with this kit, maybe you could use the foam strips for another project that you might have going on, just because they're thin. Maybe if they're a little bit thicker, it'd be easier to work with. I don't know, but I'm finding them a little cumbersome. I'm just going to put this right here. All right, we got one more, and I'm going to, whoops, I'm going to use the smaller ones. Maybe I'll have better luck with the smaller ones. Looks like I am. Okay, maybe I'll just put some right there. These are, look at this, they're so sticky. Okay, so now the next thing to do is take those backings off. Now, if I were Stampin' Dimensionals, I'd be really quick at this. But since they're not, it's going to take a little bit longer to rip these things off. How many of you that are watching are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators? Hey, and where are you guys all watching me from? I always think that's really fun to know where people are watching. I live in Vermont. If you're not familiar with Vermont, it's in New England, so it's between New York and New Hampshire. Okay, so now this one's going to go. I'm just going to put this one on right now. And let's see. I'm just looking at the picture because there's two flowers here and they go this way. Okay, so that's that so far. Again, I'm going to make sure this is opening correctly. Okay, and then this strip didn't have the backing taken off, so I just had to remedy that. Okay, so it looks like Carla is, I know Carla, she's on my team. She's from Pennsylvania. Okay, our team is called the Inspired Daisies. And I chose that name because, well, my business's name is inspired by Graham, which is my grandmother. She used to craft. She passed away when she was almost 101. She lived a very full life. The last probably 4 or 5 months of her life was not that great, but to live that long with a great life, something else. So Inspired Daisies I chose because of, again, my grandmother, and she loved daisies. And she liked the wildflower daisies. And when I got married back in 1988, I'm still married, by the way. On my wedding day, we couldn't afford flowers on the tables. And so my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, I think there was 2 great aunts as well. They went down the road from where my grandmother lived in this big field, and they picked all of these daisies and buttercups, wildflowers, painted brushes too, and they brought them to the reception hall. And when they did that, it's a good thing they went, because guess what? There were ants on their way to eat all of the cake. I'm not kidding. My Aunt Sandra, she had to go out and buy some ant killer. But anyway, back to the flowers. They were able to put them all in little vases because my grandmother just had all these vases. And I had nice little centerpieces out of wildflowers. So I thought that was really nice of her to do that and to think of that. All right, do I have all these done? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do. Okay, so then it says Forever Friends is next. And it's telling us to make that linen thread the same way. I'm probably not going to do that because I just don't like it. Okay, so I also want these all going, wait, the same way. That makes sense, right? And it looks like, wait, am I doing that right? Hold on. That's weird. The curves. I don't know. I'm gonna do it this. I don't know, it just looks really weird. Anyway, Forever Friends. Sorry. Let me get my little ink spot ready to go again. And before I stamp, I'm gonna practice. Okay, that's not too bad. It's kind of a vintage font. So we're not going to get a full, like, stamp. It's going to be very, very light. Oh, hey, Cheryl. You're from Vermont. Oh, it'd be nice to connect with you. I live in central Vermont, about 20 minutes from New Hampshire. Okay, so I have 4, and we have 4 of these little sentiment strips left over, which I'll use on something else. My ink spot, I'm covering that up. And now we're gonna bring this card back in, and they want us to pop it. I'm gonna pop this up with just 1 strip, just because it needs to be. If you don't, it's gonna get lost. So I am offering a special. I don't know if you guys know this or not, or it's on my email. But from December 25th to the 31st, if you order any of our kits collections, I will use, and so I will send you 4 of my handmade cards for free. If you use this host code and your order is $35 or more in product, you'll receive my free card class, which is, I'll go really quickly on this one. You'll get to make 1 of each of these using the Flight and Airy designer paper from Celebration. Just love this paper. I can't send you the stamped images, but you can use whatever stamp set that you might have. And then what else? Oh, and if you bump your order up to $50 in product, then I will throw in those iridescent foil gems, which I used on the cards over there. And these come from the mini catalog, which you'll be able to order from if you're a customer pretty soon. As demonstrators, we are already able to order. You know what? This thing is driving me crazy. So I'm just going to cut this thing off and put it here. And then now I'm going to take this and add it to these strips here. Yep, make sure I just, yep, okay. Just double checking that I added up to the right ones. Okay, so we'll just rip these off. And this kind of goes in the middle here. I don't like covering up those flowers at all. But it kind of looks not great down there. So I'm gonna just go off to the side a little bit. That is not a very good stamped image. I'll probably take that one apart and fix it. And this one, maybe I'll just put this one down here. And then we'll have 4 different card layouts, kind of. And then how about, oh, I don't like that. I will put this one. Oh, I don't know if I like that either. I'm going to put it down here. No, I'm not. Sorry. I can't make up my mind. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now it says to add that linen thread. I don't like it the way it is in the kit, so I'm gonna take about 10 inches, maybe 12 actually, and I'm gonna create some more bows. Oh gosh, these little foam strips are everywhere. All right, I'm just using my mat here, 12 inches. I like that it has a ruler down at the bottom, and it's also metric too on the side here if you're a metric person. So right now I'm just going to create my bows since that's my mindset right now. I always like to, when I mass produce, I always like to do the same thing multiple times and then move on to the next step. So for instance, if I was making 100 of these, well, I would cut 100 of the linen thread. Then I would make my 100 bows. And then they would go on the card or whatever project. That way, we are just doing the same thing and our mind doesn't get confused. You could probably listen to some music or watch TV. I love to have background music on or the news or something like that. Oh, Highgate Center, Cheryl. Oh, I used to live in Fairfax, so very, very close to where I used to live. I live in Sharon now, which is exit 2 off of 89. So about 20 minutes from the New Hampshire border. And I like that because we can go into New Hampshire and not have to pay sales tax. So that's kind of nice. But we do have to do something with our taxes to compensate for that. Just because we live close by and it's an automatic that they do. I guess the accountant will do that. All right, we are on our last bow. Okay, so those are all done. And now I just got to figure out where I want to put them, and we have all different locations. So I'm going to go really quickly on this. This is going to go, where's my glue dots? Right there. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and I kind of make it into a little ball on the tip of my piercing tool. And then this one over here it's going to get snuck right into here. Okay. This gets set aside because right now my brain is focusing on adding the bows. Okay, and I want the flat side on the front. Okay, so that's there. Maybe I'll put this one over here. That looks kind of cute. And we'll just sneak that right there. And we just have 2 more here. I'm just going to put this one actually right in the middle here. See what that looks like. And our last bow. Okay, so now we have all the bows on. Now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to take these tails here and I'm going to trim them off. Again, I just grab them and that way I know they're going to be the same length. So again, just grab all four and snip. Oops. There. Okay. So we have, now these cards don't have any embellishments as in like rhinestones or any kind of gems, and they don't come with any gems. So to brighten and make this a little bit cheery, you can do a couple things with your Wink of Stella. I'll show you a couple different ways. I would just brush stroke the petal pink flowers and just brush stroke. Don't fill them all in because that's like crazy. Okay, if you want, you could actually just kind of dab the yellow ones, the Daffodil Light. And you probably can't see that, but it's glittery. Another thing you can do is you can take your Wink of Stella and just make sure you have some in the barrel there, not too much. Okay, and then you can just splatter all the way around. And that way you get kind of like splattering effects. You can also take, I don't know, I haven't done this trick in a long time. I'm going to take my Stampin' Right marker and I'm going to use the brush tip, but I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to try to splatter the ink onto that white, which is kind of fun. I like doing that as well. Okay, hopefully you can see that little splatter effect. I'm going to do that again because I actually really like that. You could do both. Okay, so we're going to splatter this one. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. I probably should have done this first. And just kind of brush stroke the petal pink flowers. And then I'm just going to dab the Daffodil Delight. And there we go. So we have this one here that has the Wink of Stella and the Calypso Coral Stampin' Right markers splattered. This one just has a splattering of Wink of Stella. This one has nothing, or wait, it does have Wink of Stella on it. And then up here, this one here just has a splatter of the Calypso Coral. So different ways that you can add a little bit of, you know, kind of something different just to tone down the white. Okay, so let's see, what time is it? 8:28. I'm gonna have to sign off because I gotta work on my card club and get that out ready to be shipped probably on Thursday morning. I want to ship it from a different post office than our local one because our local one doesn't have any carriers right now. So I'm just going to go really quickly to see if there's any questions, which I don't think there are. Let's see. Okay, so I don't see any questions. And again, I'll just recap if you were just coming on. I'm offering an ordering special. So if you order any of our kits collections from my website, which is inspiredbygram.com, and just hit the Shop Now button, I will send you in your order any of the kits. It can be any of them. There's one for $14, and I think there's one a little bit cheaper than that. I will send you 4 free cards, and as soon as I see your order, I'll get those in the mail. And then if you bump your order up to $35, you will receive the 4 free cards from my stash. You will also receive the kits to make these cards here with a Flight and Airy designer paper from Celebration. And then if your order is $50 or more, you will receive the iridescent foil gems that are on this card here. And those come from the mini catalog. But with the ordering specials, it's nice that if you can use that host code, because in order to earn this free class, your order has to be $35 or more. using this host code. Now, if your order is $150 or more, please do not use that host code. I want you to earn the Stampin' Rewards, which is 10% of like 150, so that would be $15 of free Stampin' Up! Products. You will still receive the 4 free cards from my stash, 4 kits, plus the iridescent gems, foil gems that are in here. That class would ship around like maybe, I would have to order some of the gems, so that would probably be not until the second week of February, just because shipping, you know, we're just coming off the holidays and everything is a little bit slower now. So if you have any questions, you can certainly, oh, you cannot see the host code. Oh, well, let me zoom in. And so you can take a snapshot of it right there. And I can read it to you. It's 3JZ 666DD. Again, that is 3JZ666DD. I will have that information in the description box of my YouTube description on this. Also, you can go to my website and you can find the host code there at inspiredbygraham.com. It's on the right sidebar. I am going to be updating my website in late January. I'm on the list to have it updated. I'm just going to wait for my website developer to, I'm on her list. So she just needs to finish up some other things before she can get to mine. But you'll see a refresh probably towards mid-February. We'll get that done. I've had that website probably since maybe 2012. No, a little bit later than that. But it's very outdated. And I get by with whatever I can do on that left or the right sidebar. So anyway, thank you for watching. I wish you, again, a nice holiday season. It's still Christmas, still the Christmas season, and we have New Year's. I'm not sure if I'll be on next Monday because of my carpal tunnel surgery on Friday. And hopefully that does fly and doesn't get canceled again. And it's supposed to be non-invasive. So we'll see. If I can stamp, I'll be here. So if you want to be on my email list, just hit that, fill out the pop-up button or the pop-up screen that comes on my website. And then you can, you'll be automatically added to my email list. So I wish you guys a nice evening, and you guys take care, and Happy New Year. Happy 2024.